Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Talkamania Predictions. It's SummerSlam! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Predictions with your boys from Talkamania. I'm Desmino. Say hello, J-Bomb.
Hey, Des. What's up, brother man?
Hey, it's going good. It's hot, it's summery, and it's SummerSlam.
It is hot, it is summery, and it is SummerSlam. You're right.
Hope you guys are excited just as much as we are. A big event. The card is stacked. J-Bomb and myself will be syncing up. We'll be in the house together, bringing you SummerSlam. We'll be on the Periscope. We'll be live tweeting. We'll be having a barbecue because it's the go-home show of SummerSlam and the go-home show of the summer.
It's going to be a party, a pool party, and a barbecue pool party with tons of beers. Are we going to be drunk on Periscope again?
Well, it kind of happens at pay-per-views at times, so we'll see. Maybe. We'll see if we're feeling saucy, and if we're having a good time, we'll have some drinks. And, yeah, if that's the case, then my beautiful wife will be driving me home.
Ooh, so how's your week been?
Week's been all right. It's nice and toasty still here in Montreal, but, it's Monday. Not too bad for a Monday, I would say, at the very least. We're doing our prediction show at the beginning of the week, so, we have not seen Raw this week or SmackDown, so there are some variables that could come up. Maybe Randy Orton will be thrown into the U.S. title picture. Maybe Asuka will be put into the Women's Championship. Probably not, but, it could happen. So there may be a few things that could change our predictions, but for the most part, we got it on lock. We got it on lock, Oos.
And what's cool about this week is we have a guest joining us, which is a first for Talkamania, really, especially for predictions, right? We've had guests for the 10 count. Justin Roberge has been on the show a few times, but this is the first time that we have a guest outside of the three of us. So Raphael Esparza is going to be joining us for our predictions, and he'll be back with us just after this short break. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. We're joined here with our guest today. He's going to help us out on some SummerSlam predictions. Raphael Esparza, welcome to Talkamania.
Thank you for having me. I just left your lovely city right before the cold hit. I wanted to get out of there. I saw the birds flying out of there, so I had to get back out because the cold is coming. It's almost like a Game of Thrones. The cold is coming.
The winter's near.
Tomorrow. It's actually tomorrow. They call for several inches of snow.
No.
Ugh.
Imagine.
Ouch. I actually can't wait. I mean, this has been a really long and hot and humid summer. It's, Canada gets this kind of stereotype that we're cold all year round. I would say more that we experience every season. So we get hot, we get cold. Fall's nice, spring's nice, but I think I've had a little bit too much humidity and heat for my liking. So, well, you're from Vegas, right? So
yeah, so I sweat 365 days a year, so I'm good to go.
Nice. And yeah, tell us about, we found out via Twitter you're in Montreal. What were you doing? Tell us about it.
I actually do some consulting work for the website MyBookie, and they opened up an office over in Montreal. So their home office is in Costa Rica, so they called it Montreal's their MyBookie North, I guess. So I went over there, helped out with some. We posted wrestling odds when I was there. We did some Halloween betting odds. You can bet the.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we did some huge stuff on that. I'll be posting up who's going to be the next Batman. We got a whole bunch of stuff that's coming up. So it was a fun time. A couple of days I was there. And Crown Royal and Ginger Ale taste so much different in Canada than it does here in the States. So
Canadian club.
Cool. I'm glad you had a good time. I heard you got yelled at by an angry Frenchman.
Yeah, I think he was yelling at me. He was an Uber driver. I think he was yelling at me because he kept on looking at me, and I was just listening for my name, but he never said it. So it was a good time.
Maybe he just wanted your opinion on some betting odds. Who knows?
I told him that Johnny Manziel would play better. Maybe that's why he was yelling at me.
Cool. That's awesome. So I'm glad you had a good time. Next time you're down, let us know. We're definitely going to have to meet up and grab a meal, grab a drink. It'd be great to meet you one-on-one.
Yeah, I think I'll be doing a lot of trips to Montreal, except for the winter, just because I'm sorry, there's no way.
Well, I'm sure if you're used to Vegas weather, I mean, yeah, even me, I've had enough of it, so I understand.
Where'd you end up staying?
I think it was 01. The hotel was right off by that one stretch where where all those concerts at. They were setting up for a big rave this weekend. I can't remember what the street was called. I know it was Broussard or something like that.
Barassa, Henry Barassa?
Yes, it's right by Chinatown. Right by Chinatown.
Okay,
cool. That's awesome. It might have been near Place des Arts. Like, I'm not sure if that's where like the kind of like the big water fountain area. It's got stages and stuff. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it's an awesome area. Lots of stuff going on, folks. If you're ever in Montreal, check it out. Lots going on, and I'm super happy. I got to ask you, did you try poutine?
No, I did not. A little bit on a strict diet right now, and I was trying to be good, and I figure I had to eat steak and drinks, so I made sure I had Crown Royal and scotch besides potatoes and cheese and gravy. So I chose alcohol instead of poutine.
That's cool.
Good
totally
choice.
Respect that. And I'm glad that you didn't try it and make the wrong decision. So next time you come down, we're going to take you out to a really good poutine place to check it out and hopefully win you over with that.
And I have to agree, M&Ms are better than Smarties.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on. Yeah.
Wait,
so
is M&M's a Canadian thing?
No, Smarties is a Canadian thing.
Oh.
And also, here's a fun fact that I learned. Smarties, you guys have that in the U.S., but they're actually rockets, are they not? Those little Halloween candies?
You know what? I never thought about that. You're probably right.
Yeah.
I bet you they are the rockets. You only see them during Halloween.
That's exactly. And in the U.S., they're called Smarties. And I remember that I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Smarties are the chocolate. It's our kind of
M&M.
poor attempt of M&Ms.
Yeah. We have M&Ms too. Come on. We got some stuff.
It's American, right? I like M&Ms.
And we got ketchup chips. So.
It's more chocolate to candy ratio, I guess.
I did have ketchup chips.
Not bad, eh?
Have you tried all dressed chips as well too? I didn't know that you guys don't have that in the U.S.
No, we don't. Just the ketchup. Someone that was I had my own office there, and someone in a cubicle was eating ketchup chips, and I said, I gotta try one. And he's like, you know, he looked at me like the first time he walked into church, like his face, like, you never tried ketchup chips. I'm like, sorry.
All right, boys, let's get to business. So we're gonna go through the SummerSlam matches, match by match. We're starting off with the pre-show. Rusev and Lana. We're gonna throw you
a bit of a curveball here because this was not in the original predictions, but it was made official recently. So we're kind of curious to think what you think on the fly.
So Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega.
It's gotta be Rusev. I mean, for some odd reason, they're trying to give him a push, and I think that's the main reason why he's probably gonna win this. Because I think him and Lana are finally out of doghouse. That secret wedding that they had, and they announced it on social media, and Vince, I heard, was furious that's how they brought it to the world, that they were dating and stuff like that. So both of them were in a doghouse. But now all of a sudden, I think he's gonna get a small push, and I think it's got to be Rusev. Even though I love Lana, I think she's one of the hottest divas out there, so I'm going to cheer for her. But I think Rusev and them win this match.
Yeah, I kind of want to favor towards them as well too. I mean, we've been seeing Almas and Vega picking up a lot of victories. I feel like Rusev and Lana are kind of due for one, and I do feel like they are out of that doghouse. Fortunately, I mean, for the listeners at home, we're doing this a bit early in the week for the kickoff, for the go home show. We've yet to watch Raw and SmackDown for the week. So the big kind of factor for me is what's going to happen with Aiden English this week. Now, we know he's got a match with Almas. Is that going to play into this somehow? Is he going to be banned backstage perhaps during SummerSlam? Rusev and Lana will pick up the win and say, hey, look, we don't need you. I'm just kind of curious because Aiden's that factor where it can really change things. But in terms of wins and losses, I have to give this one to Rusev and Lana as well too.
Yeah, I think it's the safest. I think it's one of the safest bets.
Clean sweep, man. I'm in with it. Couldn't agree more. I just don't.
Rusev Day all around.
Rusev Day all around. They need the win. They absolutely need the win. But I mean, it does really come down to what's going to happen on Tuesday. But officially, I'll go down with Rusev and Lana as well.
Well, they're inevitably building towards, a Rusev and Aiden feud or something, something's got to be going on. So we'll see what happens. Hell in a Cell's coming up. Maybe that's when they'll have their match.
Ooh. All right, let's move on to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. We got the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day.
For me, it's still got to be the Bludgeon Brothers. We're getting no action on this when we open it up at -140, still -140. And for me, I still like the New Day. I still think they make me laugh. Every time I watch them, I'm sure my doctor doesn't like me to either want to have a bowl of cereal or some pancakes as they're in the ring. But I like the New Day, but I can understand why they're not going to give the New Day the belts here. I think the Bludgeon Brothers, even though both of their contracts are up towards at the end of the year, both Bludgeon Brothers and Bray Wyatt, so we'll not be shocked if all three of them go at the same time. But yeah, I think the Bludgeon Brothers will keep the belts on this one. So I say lay to -140.
Cool, awesome. And I didn't know that about the contracts. I would be sad to see Harper go at the very least. He had a little bit of a singles push. I think he's over. I think his, unfortunately, he's been paired with Eric Rowan, and that's kind of been his downfall. I think it's kind of prevented him from being the star he could be. He's also a bit older, so he's on. He's not young. I guess I'll put it that way. So I just hope that they can kind of make some use out of him. But for the tag team title match, I think a lot of people are saying it's going to be the Bludgeon Brothers. I want to play devil's advocate merely based on the fact that I'm tired of the Bludgeon Brothers. I don't think they're working. We don't really see them on SmackDown very much. We saw them last week. They were taking on development talent, jobbers. I don't really see this working. I hope that WWE realizes it's not, but I know they're very stubborn when they're set in their ways and they try to make things work. But then again, we've seen the New Day taking on the Usos, taking on the Bar, and these guys are finally making tag team relevant again on SmackDown and on the main roster at that fact. So I hope that they looked at the match that they've been having and they realize, you know what, we got to put these belts back on the New Day, have them have some more great matches with the Usos and the Bar. So I'm going to go with the New Day.
I got to go with my boy. I got Bludgeon Brothers on this one, man. To tell you the truth, it's a tough one to call in a sense because, like you mentioned, with the contracts being up, I wasn't aware of that either. But I just don't see it going back on the New Day just yet. I think that they're relevant without them, and Bludgeon Brothers are a tag team that definitely needs something like that in their corner to keep the momentum going.
I just feel like they're kind of a failed experiment. Like once they lose the titles, what's going to happen to them? They're not really. They're going to fade away.
Well, keep an eye on. I mean, the reason why I like the Bludgeon Brothers, I think at Hell in a Cell, I think that's when the New Day get the belts because you'll have 3 against 2 in a cell match, just a blooded, brutal match, and I think that's how the New Day squeak out. So I think the Bludgeon Brothers win this one, but I think they lose the belts in Hell in a Cell.
Ah, you're thinking the long game. I didn't think about that. That's a good, it's a good insight. And very well could see an awesome match. They've had great matches. I think it was Usos and the New Day in Hell in a Cell. Why not have another one? So yeah, that could be it. I'll still stick with the New Day, however.
I'm still waiting for when the hell is the New Day going to break up?
You've been waiting for a long time, man.
Forever.
Yeah, I mean, I know they want Big E. I think for him, what I heard was they want that push to be him. Everybody thought when they thought Big Cass, when he was coming back, he was going to be the next big guy, maybe to step up. And then when he left, I heard rumors that were saying, okay, let's give Big E that shot now that Cass is out. And so I still think he's going to get that big push. And because Xavier Woods, I don't know about his contract, but I know he still wants to be either a doctor, whatever his. I mean, he's super smart. I mean, I don't know how many degrees he has. So I know his shelf life as a wrestler is not that long because I know he wants to do other things. So I still think Big E's going to get a push sometime soon.
He's my pick. He's my draft pick out of the 3 of them.
He can eat a bowl of cereal like no one's business.
All right, guys, moving on. We got a Raw singles match. We got Finn Balor versus Constable Corbin. I'm not too excited for this match. We've seen it a few times already, and I mean, Corbin's hit or miss, man. Sometimes he delivers, sometimes he's awesome in the ring, but ultimately, I'm not really investing in this feud too much. But I'm going to put my pick first here. I'm going to go with Finn Balor because I just can't see Corbin getting a pay-per-view win over this guy.
Yeah, unless they do want to kind of give him a notable win. But I find Finn Balor, they put him in these kind of feuds when they don't have much for him to do. So it's kind of like, whoa, Corbin, we're having you're able to wrestle against Finn Balor. That's kind of notable. That's kind of good for you. And Balor, we're going to give you a win on a big stage, at SummerSlam. So I think Balor's going to win, for sure. I guess it's been a long time since we've seen the Demon. It's not going to be the case at SummerSlam. They're going to save this guy for a special occasion. You're going to see just plain vanilla. Well, not going to make him sound boring, but you're going to see Finn Balor, Constable Corbin. I'm tired of seeing him wrestle in his, I guess, dress clothes. It just seems to be a thing when you're working with the administration. You got to dress that way. It bothers me. He can't be comfortable. But, before I continue rambling on, it's going to be Finn Balor, hands down.
Yeah, I agree here. Finn Balor wins easily because you figure Constable Corbin's going to have to go back to TGIF and work and serve tables because that's what he looks like to me.
Totally.
This match, I don't understand. To me, I know Finn Balor still gets great pops when he comes out. And it's almost like, okay, we need to put Finn Balor somewhere in SummerSlam. Let's put this match in here. And so if we can get that pop from Finn Balor and everyone raises their hands, and then Corbin can go to TGIF after the match and finish his shift. And then we move on to the next match. So, yeah, I think Finn Balor easily.
He should. We talked about this in the past weeks. Constable Corbin should be using his power to influence referees. Or be like, nope, that wasn't a 3 count. It was a 2 count. It was a 2 count.
You're fired.
And just kind of milking it a little bit. But right now, it's just, I don't know. They're not really taking advantage of it. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing Corbin lose.
And you can still get Finn Balor. He's only minus 160 right now. I think it's a very low price, even though I hope the higher ups aren't listening, but I can't bet on most of these sites for wrestling. But I say to steal if you want to jump on and get Finn Balor at minus 160, because unless for some odd reason Stephanie comes out or something like that, or they have something planned that I have no deal about Corbin, I don't think he has no shot of winning this match.
I hope you're right. All right. This to me is one of the ones I'm most excited for the night. I think everybody's going to agree with me on this one. We got Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
Excited? Yeah, I would say I'm excited. I think there's been a big build-up for it. But I feel like this is going to be a feud that's not going to just be SummerSlam. It's going to go on for quite a while. And also with Daniel Bryan's contract expiring soon, too, I don't know if they're going to be giving him that win just yet. I think if they are going to bring this feud on for a few months, it's going to be The Miz going over. So I see The Miz pulling out a win, a roll-up, some way winning this match, and then he's going to hold it over Daniel Bryan for the next few weeks and just rub it in and just make Daniel Bryan just more hungry and more aggressive. So I think we'll get the return in the end, but I think this match at SummerSlam is going to go to The Miz.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, The Miz minus 135, you can get plus money on Daniel Bryan. And in a public, we'll bet Daniel Bryan just because they want to bet him. But yeah, The Miz wins this one because I think this feud lasts longer. You mentioned it, Bryan's contract still up in the air if he's going to re-sign, if he's not. Because what I heard is they're pretty satisfied. They didn't think he was going to be able to wrestle full-time so quickly and maybe not show any ring rust. And for me, in my eyes, I haven't seen that much ring rust. Mic work, everything is pretty much like he really never took a hiatus, if you want to call that. So I would be shocked if he doesn't sign a contract back with WWE. But yeah, I still think The Miz wins this one, holds it up. I would not be shocked if this feud goes for a couple months.
You said you weren't, Des, you said you weren't super excited for this. How can you not be super excited for this? We've been waiting for this for what, 2 years since that Talking Smack?
I think it's not that I'm not excited for it. I am, but there are other matches on the card I'm a little bit more excited for.
I want to see Daniel. I mean, it's no longer Big Cass, so I'm excited just for that. But yeah, unfortunately,
sorry, it's Big Cass.
Oh, whatever, same shit. I am unfortunately gonna have to pick The Miz too because it's the only thing that's gonna work with the storyline. And is Maurice gonna be there? Is Brie Bella gonna be there? We could only hope. We could only hope.
Is the baby going to be there?
Are all the babies going to be there?
Ooh, a baby match. That'd be I would watch that.
A custody versus custody. We're going to get in trouble here. Honestly, this next one, man, WWE United States Championship match, I don't care. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. Where's Randy Orton in all this? How is this not a triple threat match yet?
Well, he might not. That's the thing. There's some things that are happening this week. We saw over on SmackDown. There was early rumors that the IC title was going to have more than 2 people in it, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Nakamura, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton could be involved one way or the other, depending on if he shows up to SmackDown or not.
I hope not, because we already posted the odds up, and Shinsuke's minus 260. So I'm hoping they don't put a 3
wild card. Yeah.
I'll have to do some refunds and then redo the odds on that one. Jeff Hardy plus 185. I mean, he's my winner, Jeff Hardy, for makeup. I mean, his eyes and makeup, it's just killer. Kind of freaks me out a little bit. I have bad dreams when I wake up, even though I'm old. And they go up to go to the bathroom at least 3 times a night. I do think he's in the corner of my bathroom. It freaks me out a little. But Shinsuke easily minus 260. I agree. Randy Orton should be. I was hoping Shinsuke and Randy Orton would have been a lot better match than Shinsuke versus Jeff Hardy.
I agree.
But like I said, no disrespect to Hardy. I think they're giving him the due that they should have gave him before he left. I know WWE kind of, I don't want to say gave him the shaft before he left to go jump ship, but he was really hot, and then they kind of screwed him. And I think this is their way of saying, that's why I think they broke up the Hardys. Not right away. They made him win the tag team champions, but then they went singles, because I think Jeff Hardy would not be shocked if he held another belt before he calls it quits in WWE. I think this is going to be at least Jeff, maybe not Matt. I think Jeff Hardy would not be shocked if this is his last stint in wrestling, because he's had some really bad bumps and bruises and all. They would not be shocked if when his contract ends up, I don't know how long that is, but that's the last time we see him put some tights on.
Yeah, I have to agree here too, as well too. And you look at Jeff Hardy's wrestling style; he's a lot more safe. His matches are a little bit copy and paste. You see the same things over and over that he's doing. There's nothing special coming up. I know what to expect with Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. I know what's going to happen. I know the spots that are going to happen. Jeff works a safer style now. But yeah, it's cool to see the WWE kind of giving a little bit more of the rub now. When he did come back with Matt Hardy, they won the tag team titles. Then they split briefly. I think Jeff was the number one contender for the IC title, was it? Or I don't remember which title it was, but he was the number one contender. They started really building some steam behind him before he went out with his initial injury where he had surgery and then came back. So hopefully, we can have one more good run in him at least. I'd like to see him. Jeff Hardy was always a favorite of mine. He won the title. I don't think he was maybe at his best wrestling wise, but obviously in his mental state, he was dealing with his demons and his addictions. So I like to see at least one more solid run for him. But for this, I feel like with Nakamura, he was taking on AJ Styles for a long time. He couldn't get that WWE title. I think the U.S. title is his consolation prize. And I think he's going to hold on to it, and he will beat Jeff Hardy inevitably in this match. I mean, it's going to be what you expect. They'll have their match. He'll probably do a low blow when the ref's not looking, and then do his Kinshasa and win the match.
Are we not even considering that Randy Orton's going to come out and attack Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy's going to win by DQ?
Well, for a gambling point of view, and my point of view, I hope that happens.
That's what I'm looking at here. I'm thinking about placing a bet right here.
Fan, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I have to think that he's going to be involved one way or the other. Maybe he'll come out after the match and do a beatdown to both of them. Or, again, we still have a week ahead of us. Maybe he will be thrown to the match. I don't know. But he's definitely the big question mark in this feud.
All right, we got to move on, guys. Let's get to the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. It's a triple threat match. Tough one for me to call. We got Becky Lynch versus Charlotte versus Carmella. On my notes, I don't have any of the odds on these ones, Raphael. So,
yeah, we were adjusting them throughout just because I was hearing multiple rumors of what and storylines that could happen on this one, and so I finally settled Becky Lynch plus 150. She's a small favorite. Carmella plus 225, and Charlotte.
Really?
What I'm hearing, it's going to be Becky Lynch's. And before I want to discuss this, we have to mention about Natalya and Jim Arva, the passing of her dad. Really shocking news when I woke up and saw that this morning, because that's my era right there. So I hate to see, as I'm aging myself, my era of wrestlers. Another one, as I say, another one goes down. While only 63, I think he was. So
yeah, it's terrible.
Me, that one kind of hit hard, but so I had to mention that just because we're talking about the women's championship, and I didn't want to bring it up with everyone wants to hear who we're going to pick with the other female wrestling match coming up. For me, I still think it's Becky Lynch. I think she served her dues. I mean, she was high coming in after NXT, and then it seemed like she was forgotten. She was almost like the Bayley of SmackDown. I mean, just with Charlotte coming there, and then all of a sudden Carmella getting the hype. So for me, I think it's Becky Lynch. I think she deserves it, and I know Charlotte everyone thinks she should always have a belt with her just because of because Charlotte Flair. But I think Becky Lynch gets the belt right here, and I would not be shocked if Charlotte beats her down the road, and that's how Charlotte gets the belt back. But I think Becky Lynch, she's my pick at plus 150.
Interesting. I think both J-Bomb and I wouldn't think it would be Becky Lynch. It feels like they have other plans for this. The way they're kind of planting seeds, putting a bit of animosity or tension between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Is Charlotte actually going to come in and win this match? And then Becky's like, what, you stole my thunder. It was my SummerSlam match and you came and won the title. I know J-Bomb wants that inevitable heel turn from Becky. That could be the moment. Or, maybe Carmella, there's some kind of miscommunication during the match and Carmella rolls one of them up or picks up a dirty win. And then the two kind of start on like look what you cost me. And it looks like a seed is being planted between the two of them. So there's a lot of different directions they can go in this match. I'm not ultimately sure. Part of me feels like Carmella might walk away with this one. I don't know how many titles they plan on changing. I don't know if that's a factor. I try to look at that sometimes. But I don't see it being Becky Lynch. To me, it's got to be Charlotte or it's got to be Carmella. And for the sake of their feud, oh boy, I'm gonna go with Carmella.
Holy shit! Really? Oh my god, bold!
I'm gonna go bold. I'm
hoping Carmella goes with her whole boys at Impact. That's how bad I don't want this.
I want to make it very clear. I do not want her to win. If you listen to the podcast, I'm not a big fan of Carmella as champion. That's for sure, folks.
Why?
I also hear a rumor that they may be injecting Asuka into this, but I don't think that's going to be the fact or true. I don't know. But not having her in SummerSlam is a bit odd, at least for me.
I got Charlotte going over. I got Becky Lynch being jealous, and then the inevitable Becky Lynch heel turn. And hopefully she's been looking at my tweets and she dyes her hair blue and goes with the ice character because I think it would work. That's all I got to say.
So we each have a pick here.
Yeah, interesting.
It's going to be fun.
So next time I go to Montreal, the winner doesn't have to buy drinks, I guess.
There you go.
Sure.
There you go. Intercontinental Championship. Here we go.
Match of the night, folks, for me.
Ooh,
I think it's going to steal the show.
Really, eh? Okay, we got Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins. It's a tough one, man. I mean, I'm looking at these betting odds, and if they're still the same, I might have to get out on this one.
Yeah, this one's into Seth Rollins minus 285, Dolph Ziggler's 205. The reason why I like Seth in this one because I still think Dolph Ziggler is going to feud with his tag team boy. I think they're going to split that up because I think that would work well as a storyline. Because I still think Seth Rollins is. I would not be shocked if he's going to be the face of the company soon. Not Roman Reigns. I think they finally realized Roman Reigns will not ever be that. And I just think the way Seth Rollins has performed, I mean, he still gets bigger pops than most of the people that they thought maybe would surpass him as a top face of the company. Seth Rollins, he come back from knee surgery quicker than pretty much people thought he was going to be. I think that's why. And Dolph Ziggler, for me, he's always in a doghouse. He's always rumored that he's not going to re-sign a contract or he wants out of his contract. So I know why they did that, made him the IC champion so they can feud a while. This feud's been outstanding. Would not be shocked if Dolph wins and maybe Seth Rollins wins at Hell in a Cell with another brutal match that way. But I'm going to say Seth Rollins, but my gut is telling me Dolph Ziggler wins this one. And Hell in a Cell, I think that's when Drew and Dolph stab each other in each other's back, and them two go at it in the Hell in a Cell, and Seth Rollins gets the victory that way and gets the belt. So I'm a little bit torn here, but I still think Seth Rollins is going to win SummerSlam, but would not be shocked on the other side.
Cool. Awesome. I like that. I like all the possibilities here. And we've been seeing Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. They're obviously going to inevitably, feud at some point. The other, will it be for the IC title? That's the question. So for me, I would love that. I would love to see that belt around Drew McIntyre. The guy's just a powerhouse. He's come back bigger and stronger. I'm really high on this guy. And I would love to see that. But do I see that being the case? I'm not too sure. I feel like with Seth Rollins, the 2-against-1 dynamics, I feel like they've been teasing the return of Ambrose week after week after week. And we have not yet seen Raw or SmackDown this week, but the heavy rumor is that Ambrose may return this week on Raw. We know that there's another contract signing. I hate contract signings. I feel like there's too many of them, but they are doing one this week. And maybe Rollins will bring out Ambrose to even out the odds. Maybe it won't happen until SummerSlam, but I feel like he will play a role in this. And I think Seth Rollins will win the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. And then if I get my wish, Ambrose is going to help him get the title and then pull a Shield, backstab and then attack Rollins from behind. Because if you guys remember, I was actually looking back to make sure I had this correct, and I was watching the injury footage of when Seth Rollins dives out of the ring and lands on a pile of people, and he kind of lands on Ambrose's arm, right? Ambrose already had the torn bicep, the injury. It was already injured. But the fact that they played on it, to me, is making it seem like Ambrose is going to come back and say, you made me miss a lot of time. You made me miss WrestleMania. And to that fact, an article came out today I was reading, and Seth Rollins was saying how Dean Ambrose's injury is the best thing that happened to him. So I don't know if that's legit or if they're trying to play on the angle a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Ambrose come back and say, you cost me, and now I'm taking out my frustration out on you.
I got all that happening too, but just not at SummerSlam. Maybe Ambrose turns on him immediately and costs Seth Rollins the match, but I don't know. I got Ziggler on this one, man. I got Ziggler because I don't think Ziggler and Drew Mac are going to break up just yet. It's working for me. Ziggler as IC champ is magic. The guy's finally getting what he deserves after all these years, and I want to keep the party going, man. That's me.
I do like them together, Drew and Ziggler. I hope it lasts a little bit longer. I just hope they don't think that, Rollins and Ambrose is going to need a title belt. It seemed to be the trend back in the day. Ambrose always needed a title in his feuds. So I would like to see the title feud between Ziggler and McIntyre. I actually hope I'm wrong. But, I think it's going to be Rollins.
I think Dean Ambrose needs to shave his head and be like the new version of Stone Cold or something. His hairdo his receding hairline is as bad as.
Has anybody seen him recently? I know he's a Vegas boy. Maybe you saw him around.
No, I mean his injury has pretty much been like MIA on everything. I mean, you just don't see. Normally, you'll see people rehab. You see it on either their Instagram pages or WWE or someone. His injury, he just went completely MIA. I mean, haven't heard, spoke, or seen anything on it. So that's why, for me, I know all these rumors that he's going to come back in SummerSlam. I just don't see that happening. I think if he was, we would have seen something of him or a peep on social media or something. I just have not seen anything. So that would probably be the biggest shock for me if Dean Ambrose shows up at SummerSlam and does something.
Maybe, because the rumblings, and I heard the crowd last week kind of chanting when he needed that tag team partner last week. It seemed like that was who was going to be. Roman couldn't come out. The crowd was cheering Ambrose. It's almost like the WWE was trolling the audience and saying, oh, yeah, you want him? No, not just yet. So who knows? Maybe they'll bring him back for the contract signing this week on Raw. It'll be a good way for the fans to kind of be more interested in watching SummerSlam this Sunday, but maybe it is too early as well, folks. So there's only one way to find out.
When Eugene would have been the tag team for us.
Oh, shit. That'd be too good. All right, this is another one. This is exciting for me. One of the most hyped ones for me outside of Miz and Daniel Bryan. The Raw Money in the Bank contract match between Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. Finally, we're going to see somebody put their Money in the Bank contract up for grabs. I think this is a storyline that should be more common. We should have seen this before. I know some people have said that we have. I don't remember it, so to me it's new. But I don't know. This one's a hard one to call, man. What do you guys got?
I'm gonna do a big turn on this one. I think Kevin Owens wins. He gets the contract, and then he uses it when Roman Reigns wins, and Kevin Owens is the heavyweight champ on Monday Night Raw. So that's that's what I'm gonna pick. Just throw a complete curve, just to really make Roman Reigns just suffer more. I mean, not only does the crowd hate him, not only does just give him the belt for less than 24 hours.
Isn't that the point, though? People would love that.
Yeah, so that's my outcome. I think. I mean, what would be the point for Braun Strowman to win this match? I mean, there's really no point for him to win this match and to have the briefcase. First of all, the briefcase looks like an envelope in his hand, so it's not like something intimidating. Because usually when you have a briefcase, you use it as a weapon pretty much half the time you have it. And why would Braun Strowman need a briefcase as a weapon? So I just don't see no reason for him to win this. I think he's going to have the belt maybe at WrestleMania, the next WrestleMania or the next big event, because I think my prediction is Kevin Owens wins, then uses his contract and gets the belt, and we see a rematch, and that's how Braun Strowman's going to win the belt. He's going to beat Kevin Owens, who beat him at SummerSlam, and that's how he gets the belt. So that's my storyline.
Interesting. And I know they've actually been advertising Hell in a Cell being Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. So sometimes they do that. They advertise it ahead of time. You can kind of sense some spoilers in the air. But, they can easily change the card up. But when I saw that, I was like, And when they laid down the rule where if Braun Strowman loses by any means, well, to me, that's a huge factor. It's not just a loss. It's by any means. So you can have Owens win in a believable way. A count out, a DQ, anything more or less. And KO is conniving. He can come up and be creative with his ideas. And we see that. I mean, week after week right now, there's perfect examples of it with Braun Strowman losing from DQ, losing from count out. So right now they're highlighting all the different ways that Braun Strowman can lose going into SummerSlam. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, these are all these possibilities. But at the same time, if they're showing us all these possibilities, are they really going to just give us one of these endings, or is he really going to overcome the odds? But, that briefcase, Kevin Owens cashing it in, it seems like a Kevin Owens thing to do. He took that big bump off the cage. Maybe the WWE's giving him a pat in the back and saying, wow, thanks for doing what you did. And at the same time, Owens worked as a champion. I think being a heel champion, kind of trolling Roman Reigns, stealing his moment would be epic. Braun Strowman doesn't need the briefcase either, so I never thought he did either. So I think there's a bigger picture to this briefcase, and I'm actually going to go with Kevin Owens as well.
Damn. Okay. Little different here. Screw it. Braun Strowman's going to win this. And just because I want to see Braun cash it in on Roman and just give us another I'm not finished with you. I want to hear it again.
I missed those I'm not finished with you. That should be his catchphrase instead of these hands, or at least add that to his catchphrases.
I think the world wants to see Braun Strowman face-to-face with Brock Lesnar for a moment. Even if, I'm saying, Seth Rollins style. He comes down, becomes a triple threat. There's a face-to-face with Brock and Braun. Not sure how it all happens, but at the end of the day, he screws over Roman. Maybe he's the guy who pins Brock this time instead of it being on Roman. But I just see the end of SummerSlam and Braun Strowman holding that title up. I think it's going to happen.
I'm hearing Paul Heyman can be Braun Strowman's next little sidekick. I heard that the other day. So I think no matter who wins this match, they're using the briefcase at SummerSlam. So I think no matter who wins this. So I think if Braun Strowman wins this match, and I would not be shocked if he goes up and tries to beat the hell out of Brock Lesnar and like you said, interferes in that match or something like that. And maybe that's how he gets the belt. Maybe Brock beats Roman again, and then Braun Strowman comes in and beats the hell out of Brock, and that's how he gets the belt. But no matter who wins this match, I think the briefcase is being used.
Ooh, I would love to see Brock actually beating Roman once again, and then Braun coming out and then beating Brock. Oh, wow, the crowd would explode. That'd be great.
Oh, I'm excited. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
This is my match of the night. I can't wait just because I think this match is going to dictate how the Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns match.
It's going to dictate the next. I mean, if that is the case, it's going to dictate storylines for months to come. So it's pretty pivotal. Pivotal. Sorry. All right, we got to move over to SmackDown, the WWE Championship match. We got AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in what I feel is a feud that I guess I'm invested, but just not as invested as I think I could have been in a feud like this. So who do you guys have?
Well, I think they could have done a lot better job at building this feud up. You'd had Samoa Joe 1 week cutting a promo. AJ wasn't there. AJ cut a promo. Samoa wasn't there. They've had no real solid, I would say, in-ring matches or interaction. We don't even see AJ Styles wrestling too much on SmackDown these days. So, there's all these rumblings that McMahon is super high in AJ Styles. He wants him to hold the title for a while. There's WWE 2K19 coming out as well, too. AJ's on the cover, so they might want him to be the champion. I'm going to pick AJ Styles. I think Samoa Joe definitely could be a guy to take the title off him. I think Samoa Joe could have a pretty solid WWE Championship heel run in him. He's really, really good on the mic, and he's aggressive, and I think I can buy into it. I think he's earned it as well, too. But I don't think this is going to be the pay-per-view where it gets done. Maybe at Hell in the Cell. But for the SummerSlam match, I see AJ Styles picking up the win here.
Yeah,
least walking out with this title.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's walking out. I don't know if he wins the match. I think maybe a DQ or something like that. AJ Styles minus 160. And I think Styles is going to hold the belt. If Monday was going to be, let's say, the draft, the WWE draft, because I still think AJ Styles, the next time there's a draft, he's at Raw. I don't think he's going to be at SmackDown anymore. I think with Vince still having high hopes on him, I think they're going to move him to Raw the next WWE draft. So if that was this week, then I might look at, okay, maybe Samoa Joe wins this and gets the belt, but it's not. I think AJ Styles wins this one. At least, let me be fair, I think leaves the match with the belt, maybe a DQ or something like that. But AJ Styles, give me him at laying a small price, minus 160. I don't see Samoa Joe winning the belt at a SummerSlam. So give me AJ Styles on a small price at minus 160.
I'm on the same page. With 2K19 coming out, I don't see how they're going to take the title off of him. It's still not Samoa Joe's time. I know, Des, you said that he's earned it. Maybe outside of the WWE, maybe in NXT. I don't think he's earned it on main roster. I don't think it's his fault. He's great. I like him in ring. I like his aggressiveness. I think he had one of the better feuds against Brock Lesnar out of anybody over the last little while.
I agree.
Yeah, and great mic skills. He's a full package. He is. I just don't know if now's the time for him, and I don't know if it should be against AJ Styles. I'd like to see Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan somewhere down the line for a championship, so I'm keeping it for then. So I'm going to go with AJ Styles for this, guys. And that's going to bring us to the Raw Women's Championship match. This is a big one, guys. We got Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey. I'm looking at the odds that you sent us over, and I don't know, man. I got Bliss winning this match. I don't see how she can lose. I don't think it's...
You don't see how she could lose. How can she win? Tell us, how will she win this match?
Because it's just like, what's the point? Is it going to be a squash match, or is that how they're going to have Ronda Rousey win the championship on the second biggest stage of the year? I just don't see how it can be that. And I mean, with the news of Natty, I don't know if this changes anything with storylines, with her availability. She's not on Raw tonight, and I know she had a match scheduled with Alexa Bliss. So there's all those variables going through it. It's a tough match to call for me, but I don't know. I feel like Alexa, come on.
Wow, if you nail this one, I'm going to be super impressed. I will take you out to dinner.
Ooh.
If you get this one, I will, absolutely.
Like for more than just a soup and a salad, right?
See how Alexa Bliss can walk out. I know there's concerns of, well, how long can she hang with Ronda? I don't know if she'll run around outside the ring, but she'll try to pull something off, and she'll try to pull her dirty tricks. But the inevitable is Ronda Rousey came to the WWE. They're going to put her on a pedestal. They're going to give her the title at some point. And in the back of my mind, I keep thinking Ronda, how she was saying how she wants to have children in the near future. And at the same time, her contract, I believe, carries her into WrestleMania. So if she wins a title at SummerSlam, maybe she'll carry the title to WrestleMania, and then she'll drop it, take some time off, pop out a baby, and come back. I don't know. But I definitely see Ronda win this one. I also feel, knowing Natalya and her character, I feel like she will make it to SummerSlam, and she will be there. And maybe the WWE will say, no, stay with your family. Maybe the funeral services will be this weekend. But I don't think that's going to change anything if she is in Ronda's corner, regardless. I know you said that maybe she would turn on Ronda. I don't think it would be yet. Maybe it would be shortly after she wins the title. There'd be a feud between the two of them. That's inevitable. Natty plays a good heel. But SummerSlam, this is going to be it. Outside of WrestleMania, it's one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. Ronda Rousey's winning her first championship.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why we made this so high is because the public is going to bet Ronda Rousey no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
She could be facing the whole pay-per-view of female pay-per-view wrestlers against Ronda Rousey, and people would still be betting that she's going to beat up 32 women to win the belt. So we had to make it as high as minus $6. Usually that's just telling us that we're just trying to protect the house, and I don't want to be fired on Monday. So yeah, minus $6 is the reason why. And I totally agree with you. I mean, there's no secret. She said it multiple times that she wants to pop out a kid. She wants to have pregnant. So if she gets the belt now, she could hold it for a while. Now, I don't know. The Alexa Bliss storyline could work now because of what happened. Because I'm hearing that Ronda Rousey and Natalya were supposed to feud for a good couple of months. Ronda Rousey would win the belt. Ronda Rousey doesn't give Natalya the credit for preparing her, and that's how the feud starts, and it goes on for a while. So this little thing could have made a big turn right here. So would not be shocked if someone's buying someone dinner Monday after this one of Alexa Bliss. But I still think Ronda Rousey is going to be the winner, just because I think they know that window of her coming out is not that as long as maybe someone else would come in from UFC and try to become a wrestler. I think Ronda Rousey, that window is not as long as other people would be. So I think that's why she gets the belt here.
WWE Universal Championship match. I mean, you name it. There's a million things that can happen here. Vince could swerve us all and just let Brock walk with the title. We got cash-ins here. Is Roman Reigns really going to clean beat Brock? Is it finally going to happen? Was this their fourth time fighting? Tough one to call. Definitely going to close the show. Who do you guys have?
I'll go first on this one. I mean, there's so many scenarios on this one. Roman Reigns -$3, because I know the public, this is another one I wanted to actually make it higher, because the public knows what's going to happen with Brock Lesnar after this match. I mean, there's rumors saying that he still wants to work for WWE. There's rumors saying that he can hold both belts if he goes to UFC and wins heavyweight champion. He can have both belts. There's no way I see Vince letting him walk with the belt to UFC. But at the same time, what great advertising if Brock Lesnar walks in the ring fighting DC Cormier with a WWE belt that he's actually a champion. I mean, that's just great marketing and advertising if you're Vince McMahon. But I think no matter what happens, the winner of the Braun Strowman match uses his belt. And I think the winner of that match is going to be the winner when they close the show. I still think it's either going to be Braun Strowman or Kevin Owens. I still think it's going to be Kevin Owens, just because I think there's so many storylines that they can use with Kevin Owens. If Kevin Owens is a champion, you can throw in Finn Balor back into the heavyweight championship mix. You can throw in Seth Rollins into the heavyweight championship. There's so many angles.
That's a good point.
Throw in if you let Kevin Owens win the belt instead of it's just Roman Reigns. If it's Roman Reigns, you only have maybe a handful of Braun Strowman and some other handfuls that you can feud with. I think Kevin Owens, you can have so many different angles. So I'm still sticking with the huge upsets. I'm saying Kevin Owens closes the show with the belt around KO.
And if Kevin Owens is the champion, another guy that can involve somewhere down the line is our boy Chris Jericho, which is always entertaining, always interesting.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because he's coming back. He's coming back soon.
Oh yeah, is that what you're hearing?
I'm hearing. I mean, he did his stints, and like I said, Chris Jericho, even though he was wrestling not under a WWE contract, but everyone knows where Chris Jericho belongs. So here's Vince McMahon. If you want to go wrestle in Japan and get all that plug, that's just more marketing and advertising for me when you come back.
That'd be great. I'd love to see it. Jericho's kind of got a new look, you know. His hair is really long. I just saw it recently. So I'd love to see him come back. He's always reinventing himself. And, yeah, I'm down. I would love it. Again, you made a great point. All these possible feuds. You can put Balor, you can put Rollins in the picture. I agree. I think the winner of the Money in the Bank match will be the champion at the end of the night. Will it be interfering in the middle of the match and making it a triple threat? Kevin Owens is a bit of a coward. I don't see him doing that, taking the chance of losing. I think it's going to be a brutal match between Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. I think McMahon was really high on breaking CM Punk's record as well, too, similar to what they did with Bella, with Nikki Bella. They wanted to make sure that she passed AJ Styles' record.
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee. I do that all the time. Sorry, folks. AJ Lee. As soon as she passed that record, they had her drop the title. I feel they're doing the same thing with Brock here. I don't think he's going to keep the title, but the cross promotion would be amazing. I think it would be genius. They are mentioning UFC more during their promos. They mentioned Cormier as well, too. Roman Reigns did, but I feel like it's going to be a brutal match. Roman Reigns is finally going to get his big win, and Kevin Owens is going to squash it. So that's my pick.
Braun Strowman's going to be doing it, boys. Come on. He's not going to be finished with him. I agree, though. It's going to be whoever wins that Money in the Bank, and that's why I got my my money on Braun Strowman. I just see it's his time. I felt like they almost missed the boat on him, like a few months back.
I think they did.
But I think this is the, like, you know, the boat's coming back to the dock, man. And if they get it here and we close SummerSlam with Braun Strowman hoisting that title up, I think all is going to be forgiven. And there's a lot of options with Braun Strowman, and he could keep the storyline going with KO. And I just don't see Vince 100%. Sorry, not KO, with Roman. I don't see Vince giving up on the Roman experiment just yet. But who knows?
You know what? The only way I think that Roman's ever going to get healed over if The Rock comes back and them two battle like at a WrestleMania. I think that would be the only way I think the public would finally maybe give him some kind of a big hug or something if he wrestles The Rock. Until then, there's no way the crowd's ever gonna go on his side unless he does a total heel change and just pisses them off, which I think they need to do.
Interesting. And I know there was lots of rumors circulating now that The Rock is going to be involved in WrestleMania 35. So don't know if there's truth to that, but it seems to be a heavy rumor, and maybe that could be where those two face off. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think, like I said, I think the Strowman match is gonna determine how SummerSlam is pretty much gonna end. Is it gonna be a memorable ending? Because I think we can have so many ways how this show can end just by knowing who won the Kevin Owens match.
I think we could sum it up that we're all pretty excited for this. It's the first time in a while I've had a hard time actually, predicting a card. It's not helping that we haven't watched Raw and SmackDown this week. So, I mean, some of my picks might change after that. And we're probably, if you look at the clock now, we're about an hour into Raw live on Monday. So we'll be able to update a few of these later in the week. But it was awesome having you, man. I just want to take time before we wrap it up. Let our listeners know where they can get in on this action, Raphael.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at VSI.Sports. You can also find me over at BetMyBookie, which I do all the wrestling odds and most of their entertainment odds. If you're looking for some free stuff, you can still text the word wrestling to 29022 and get some free stuff over the weekend. At $60 worth of free stuff. You can use it for wrestling stuff. You can bet if you want to bet some preseason football. You can bet CFL football. Hockey futures are up. I know someone's got a Montreal t-shirt on. He should probably take that off because it's going to be a long season again. It's who doesn't like free stuff? So text the word wrestling to 29022.
Can you get Montreal a free top scorer for their hockey team?
I'll see what I can get. How often can I say, yeah, Golden Knights are better than your Habs?
Oh, shit. Oh, boy. Anyways, thanks again for joining us. And, guys, check him out on Twitter, like you mentioned, at VSI.Sports. Raphael, cheers, man. That was awesome. And we look forward to seeing how your picks pan out.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. Thanks for having me on. And you guys always do great stuff. And highly recommend always listen to Talkamania, guys.
And there we have it, folks. That is our predictions for SummerSlam. It's going to be a stack card. I hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll be talking a little bit more this week on our episodic podcastic adventure that comes out weekly. More content, more Talkamania. It's a win.
It's always a win with your boys at Talkamania. Thanks again for tuning in to another prediction episode. Don't forget to follow us on the Twitter machine @_Talkamania. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/Talkamania. Pick up some merch. Support the podcast. It's the best way to keep things going, to keep things fresh, to bring us to the next level and bring more content to you every week. And again, thank you, Raphael. Guys, check him out at VSI.Sports. If you're into the betting odds, check him out. He's going to hook you up. Use the promo code you heard earlier in the show. And yeah, man, get in on the hot action and enjoy SummerSlam. We're going to be there. We're going to be, well, not there, but we'll be on Periscope, drunk, and Irish Rip Podcast. We are coming for you. We have not forgotten. We are going to give you our updated predictions following Raw and SmackDown this week in case they had anything. And we're coming for you.
Happy Rusev Day.
Suckers walk. Ugh.